Hi guys, I am here to show you today why and how I use the TabResize extension. So I was getting really tired of being in breakout rooms with students and having them uh, working on Jamboards within their group. And every time I'd switch to a new group, I would have trouble with their Jamboards loading. So as you can see here, say I switch to group 3, and as you can see, it takes a little bit for these. Well, now it's not going to show you. It takes a little bit of time for these to load. And so I'd enter this room and I'd have to wait and wait and wait instead of being able to switch and immediately discuss what was happening with the students. So what I did instead was I found what they call the TabResize extension. And on that first presentation slide that I shared with you, you can find the link to it. But up here, it's a little box with a white arrow in it, and that would be your extension. So what happens when you do this? I always make sure before I set it up that I have each one of my tabs in the order. So I have group 1, group 2, group 3, and then group 4. This particular class, it's a small group. There's only 3 to 4 students per group. So with that, my 4 groups open here at the top. Whichever one you have open, everything to the right of it will follow in your TabResize. So before I start this with my students, I make sure I have my screen set up. So I go over here to this TabResize, and I can choose the layout that I want it in. I can choose if I want there to be an empty tab, if I only want it to show a single tab. So here, because I have 4 groups, I want 4 screens. So with that, what it does when I click that, it's going to open up each tab to the right of the one that I was on in a new thing. So now I don't have to switch between each different tab at the top. It's just something that makes your life a little bit easier. And here, then I can easily, if I want them all on the next slide, I can just go ahead and click through on each one without having to click a tab, then click over, then click the next tab, then click over. I can just go right through, and I can see on each of the screens what they're working on. If I'm over here on group 3, I can still see up here what group 2 is doing in their breakout room. And then I can always say I want to see it a little bit bigger as I switch into the breakout rooms. I can go down here, say I want to go to group 3. I'm going to go ahead and make that one bigger. And so that I can see what they're doing there. And this will get big. Again, it does take a little bit of time to load, but now I'm not having to then see what slide they're on. I can just switch right away. And then I can minimize it back down and go to the next group. And again, through all of these, I can switch through all 4 groups onto their different slides to see what they're working on. And then as I go into the individual breakout rooms, I can maximize my screen and I can immediately talk to them about what they're doing. Or I can immediately say, hey guys, let's go back to this. I didn't like your answer. Let's talk about what happened.